Okay, we are now in lesson 6.3. It's called Using Ratios and Rates to Solve Problems. In Module 6, Lesson 1, we learned what ratios are. In Module 6, Lesson 2, we learned what rates are. And now in this lesson, we're going to apply what we learned to solve different kinds of problems that happen in real life. Okay, so one thing we can do is we can make a ratio table to make comparisons. Okay, so you can use ratio tables to make comparisons. And a lot of times making comparisons helps us make decisions. So let's give you an example. Anna's recipe for lemonade is 2 tablespoons of sugar and 3 cups of lemonade. Bettina's recipe is 3 tablespoons of sugar and 5 cups of lemonade. Whose lemonade is sweeter? Well, what we have here is 2 different ratios, but it's hard to know when we have a ratio of 2 to 3 if it's sweeter or not than a ratio of 3 to 5. Okay, so we're going to make ratio tables to make a comparison to figure out whose lemonade is more sweet. Okay, so here we have 2 tables. Okay, we're going to make Anna's and we're going to make Bettina's. Remember, Anna's ratio of lemonade to sugar is basically 2 tablespoons of sugar to 3 cups of lemonade. Bettina's is 3 tablespoons of sugar to 5 cups of lemonade. And we're going to try to figure out which one is more sweet. Now, I can make equivalent ratios by multiplying the top and the bottom by the same number. So I'm going to start by multiplying, we're just going to start by multiplying by 3, okay? Multiply the top and the bottom by 3. 3 times 2 is 6, okay? 3 times 3 is 9. See how that works? And so 2 tablespoons of sugar and 3 cups of lemonade is the same ratio as 6 tablespoons of sugar and 9 cups of lemonade. It's still the same ratio of sugar to lemonade. So if I want to make more lemonade, I would multiply by 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12, right? Again, this is the same proportion of sugar compared to lemonade. It's the same ratio. It's the same rate. Now, if I want to multiply times 5, I would do 5 times 2, which is 10 tablespoons of sugar. Then I would do 5 times 3, which is 15 cups of lemonade. So these are all the ratios if we just make more and more lemonade. And we can do the same with Bettina's, right? We can multiply this times 3. And we get 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 5 is 15. So in Bettina's recipe, if you have 9 tablespoons of sugar and 15 cups of lemonade, you can multiply this times 4. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 5 is 20. Again, these are the same ratios, the same amount of sugar compared to lemonade. And if we multiply by 5, we get 5 times 3 is 15, and 5 times 5 is 25. Now, here is where it helps. If we want to know which one is sweeter, we can see right here in Anna's recipe, when there are 15 cups of lemonade, there are 10 tablespoons of sugar. All right. When you look at Bettina's recipe, when there are 15 cups of lemonade, there are 9 tablespoons of sugar. So for both recipes, when there are 15 cups of lemonade, Anna's has more sugar, 10 tablespoons of sugar compared to 9 tablespoons of sugar. So that's how we know that Anna's recipe is sweeter, because when both of them have reached 15 cups, this ratio has more sugar than this one, okay? So we can use ratio tables to help us find equivalent ratios, and then we can make comparisons. So whose lemonade is sweeter? Anna's is more sweet or sweeter because there are 10 tablespoons of sugar in 15 cups. In Bettina's, there are only 9 tablespoons of sugar in 15 cups. Okay? And that is how you can make a ratio table to make comparisons. So let's go over one more time how to make a ratio table full of equivalent ratios. Okay? This is how you do it. You start out with your ratio and you multiply the top and the bottom times the same number. Okay? When you always go back to the original ratio and multiply the top and the bottom by the same number. This one, they were both multiplied by 3. This one, they were both multiplied by 4. This one, they were both multiplied by 5. And that is how you get a ratio table that has equivalent ratios all the way in through the table. All right, you can use this to do all of the different kinds of problems for lesson 6.3.